Hi 4-H friends! We hope that you received your very first month's Clover crate, and we're so excited that you signed up for this program. Heather and I are really excited for this. We have lots of fun things planned. This month's theme is called Get Started in Art. And if you didn't know, when you sign up for 4-H in the fall, so back, next 4-H year, when you sign up for 4-H projects, you can select the Get Started in Art 4-H project book. And it is chock full of super fun, hands-on activities that you can do. So we decided to highlight 3 of those activities in this month's Clover crate. So the first one has to do with textures. So in visual art, which is when you see a painting on the wall, artists sometimes like to use texture, which is something that you usually have to feel. How do they paint it? What do they use? So you're going to try your own hand at creating a texture from a rubbing that you make. I thought I would use this picture frame, but it's a little bit thick. It's hard to get a good rubbing on. So then I decided instead to try this paper plate. And as you can see from my rubbing, there's the texture of the paper plate. So you have several pieces of tracing paper to try this on. And the examples on your paper are really cool. They used a puzzle and bathroom tile. And so look around your house, try to find something flat to make that textured painting or picture. And it could be really cool. It could be cool enough that maybe if you did your bathroom tile, you'd want to hang it in your bathroom. I think that would be a really cool piece of art.
I think that you can see in the picture there, it also is something where you can start and do the texture one way, and then turn your tracing paper and try it a different way. So you would have a different pattern than just the one that's on your puzzle or on the wall. So people oftentimes will take tracing paper and also do etchings for gravestones, so that you can see how the letters are indented and how the stone has a different texture.
That's exactly right. Those really cool monuments in Washington where they have the people's names who were in the war, you'll see that a lot. Exactly like what Heather said. They'll take their tracing paper and then they'll take that home, and that will be a remembrance of someone that they love that served in the war who's memorialized on that wall. Very good. I hadn't even thought of that. So we are excited to see what kind of textures you find in your house. We want you to share those with us. The second activity is called Movement on a Page. And so everybody received a picture of this painting, and hopefully you've seen it before. It's called The Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh, and it offers a lot to look at. So the way movement is on a page is what your eye goes to look at first. So when I look at this painting, the first thing I see are the swirly clouds. That's what draws my eyes first. And then I look again and I see this town. So what do you see? What's the first thing you see?
Well, I think for me, I was drawn to the color and the swirl. So I really like the moon and the stars and how it gives that contrast from the colors. There's two, it feels textury to me, like Becca was talking about with the first activity.
So that's called movement. What that phenomenon is in art is called movement. And so what you're going to do in this activity is that some art really does move. If you ever get to go to an art museum, you may see moving art, something that is moving in space, where it's hanging or what it's using. And so I think this is going to be really fun. I can't wait to see what you create. A mobile, is that how you say that word? A mobile is something that you hang from the ceiling with things hanging down from it, and this is going to move in the air. So a lot of people use these for a baby to see movement, whenever they're really little, they hang out above their crib so they can see things move. So you can use anything you find around your house. The example, they used bows. I found some 4-H stickers that I just put on pieces of cardstock, and I hung them at different levels. And then you can create from the string that you received in your bag, you can create a little hanger. So if you just take pieces of string and hang it, put them on the sides and then let them meet in the middle, you'll have it hang down. But I think this is going to be really fun to see what kinds of things you find that you can dangle from your, what's this thing called?
Embroidery hoop.
An embroidery hoop. You can also make these from, you could take your paper plate and you could cut out the center and you could hang things from that at different levels. So there's lots of ways that you can do this. What would you use if you were going to do this, Heather? What are some ideas of things you could hang from here?
I think that they could even take paper in their house and fold it, to make it look like a bird or a plane or something else. I think you could also take stuff that you find in your bedroom, like, you know, how you might have like little toys that are left over from, you know, when you collected things like, you know, maybe a Polly Pocket dress or a Lego figure. I think that that's a great way to talk about who you are. So maybe you decide, oh, okay, I'm going to pick 5 things that really represent me. Like maybe you would take that 4-leaf clover sticker, and then maybe you would do something about art if you liked art, or fishing, or really anything. Just some small things, and you want to try to find some balance to it, because if you have a really heavy object on one side and you put something super light on the other side, it's going to go a little bit wonky. So
that's a good, doing balancing, that's a really good thought. You know, I'm thinking like if you went to the beach and you picked up seashells, how cool that would look. And in the paper that we gave you, it suggests like a wind chime, so you could hang little bells or something that if you hang this outside, the wind could catch it and it could sound really beautiful too. That's another part of art, is being able to hear, use your senses. So, so that's the second activity, and again, super duper excited to see what you create. And Heather's going to talk about our third activity.
Okay, so I think a lot of times in school you might have heard this word, pointillism. Pointillism is a type of technique that people use where they can use tiny dots to create a big picture. So you might use lots of different colors close together to give it like that textury feel, or maybe you use the same color in a series of dots to make a picture. So we gave a little bit of an example here. You'll get a canvas, you'll get about 7 colors of paint, you'll also get a little paint palette, so if you wanted to mix different colors other than your 7, you could try that out. That's really cool. But what you'll do is take the pencil that you get, and you're going to take it and make dots. So you would start, and like the first thing you would actually do is sketch it out. So I thought to myself, I have brown paint, maybe I want to make a tree. So I would suggest you use a pencil so that way it covers better. But I used a marker so that you could see the lines. So I did an outline, and then I started giving it a little bit of detail. Then once I had this side kind of completed, I started making dots with my brown paint. So I put those pretty close together along the side so that you could see the line. But then when I got to the second line, I thought I would like it to be a little bit lighter in color. So I didn't push as hard. I didn't put as much paint on the end of my pencil so that it would be a much lighter dot. So you also have a picture that gives you other examples of what other people have done with pointillism. And so they've taken and they've made maybe a landscape like the beach, or like a sunset with some hills, or maybe they wanted to do just an object like this tower here. But I think if it were me, I would look at the paints that you get in your kit and I would say, oh, I've got this beautiful blue. Maybe I want to do a sky. Or maybe I want to pick something like, oh, my favorite shirt, it's the same color as that red that I have in my kit. So I feel like you can be inspired by the colors that you have and decide what kind of picture you want to make with your pointillism.
And we did say to try a landscape. That's kind of the challenge, but if you are inspired by something else, that's what's the great thing about art, is anything that inspires you, that's what we want you to do. But I will say that we really want it to be pointillism. So I know when you get that canvas and you get all excited with all those paints that you want to paint something, try the dots. We want to see what the dots are. Only using dots to paint on your canvas. And again, Heather and I are super excited to see what you create. We know that it's going to be beautiful. Now maybe art isn't your thing. You know, maybe you got this crate, you signed up for this program knowing that it's going to be several activities each month, and maybe one really appealed to you, but maybe art wasn't it. I am not a great artist at all, but I still am super excited to try all these things. So we ask that you give it a try. This is about learning about new things and trying different things. Maybe next month, should we tell them what next month is?
Oh, I think we should give them a little sneak preview of what it might be.
Next month is going to be super fun, and I'll let Heather tell you what it's going to be.
So it's going to be Cooking 101. So that's so exciting because not only will you get ingredients, but you'll also get some supplies that you can keep forever. So it would give you a little inspiration to use for your own cooking, not just what's in the kit. So we're really excited by that.
So maybe the cooking is exciting. Maybe the next thing that we do, I'm not going to give them all away, will be exciting. So the key here and what we want you to do is try everything that you get. You know, and here's the thing, you could give it as a gift. Maybe you don't want a painting that you painted in your room, or I would hope that maybe you'd want to hang it up, but I bet someone that you love would love to receive that. So, so try everything, try new things. That's the biggest thing about 4-H, learn new things, learn by doing. That's our motto, and we want you to learn by doing. By doing these activities, you're going to learn something new.
And hopefully, if you try out these cool Clover crates, you'll find an activity that you'll want to do the whole project book for. So it's like a little tiny preview of what exciting things are in those project books. So we just gave you 3 little samples from art, but art's chocked full of amazing things you can do. And cooking's the same way, and every other one that we're going to have is going to have lots of components of fun things that you can do in the project book. So we hope that you'll find something that sparks your interest.
That's exactly right. Yes. So thank you all. Have a lot of fun. Share, share, share. We have a Facebook group. Join that group, Monongalia County 4-H Clover Crate, so that we can see the amazing things that you've created. Thank you. How, and we'll see you next time.